camera lens literally won't defog. But we're gonna start the morning throwing a nice topwater. See if we can get on a nice topwater bite before the sun comes up.
Oh, there we go. Snook, not a bad one. It's coming right at the boat. Try to get him out of these mangroves. Under the boat. Get him away from the mangroves. All right, we got him out of the mangroves. Not a bad snook at all. Not a bad snook at all. Let's see if we can get him in the boat. What a start. Let's freaking go. Camera's still pretty fogged up. I'll put my phone up here just in case this is too foggy. Get this hook out. That right there is a beautiful, oh, my phone's like kind of messed up. That right there is a gorgeous 28 to 29 inch fish. I'm gonna go ahead and get this fish back in the water and hopefully catch some more fish, maybe even a bigger one, because that is a sick fish very early in the morning. Gonna get a nice release on this bad boy and get back to fishing. Such a beautiful fish. Off he goes. Let's freaking go. All right, let's get some more. Something very important when fishing and catching snook is always checking your leader for frayage, and luckily I had him kind of perfectly hooked to where there's zero frayage, so I don't have to retie this lure. Basically just because you don't want to lose that next fish if there's just a little weak points in this and you end up breaking it off. So always check that. But this was the lure that got the job done, little Rapala skitter walk. So we're gonna throw it back out there and hopefully catch some more. There we go. That's a snook. Not a big one, but he's going in the mangroves. Get him out of there. Alright, got him out of the mangrove. Don't think he's a giant. I switched to some pretty light tackle, but let's see what we're working with. He's under the boat right now. He's not a bad one. Beautiful little like 22-inch snook. I switched to a little pink fluke. I'll show you guys after I release him. But that's the second fish of the day. Probably fishing probably about an hour now. So we're gonna get this guy back in the water and get him a nice quick release and get back to fishing. Off he goes.
So even though it's early in the morning, I'd like to be throwing a topwater. I was noticing these fish were still pretty far tucked back into the mangroves, so I switched over to a little pink fluke right there. And like I said earlier, I had like a ton of rods already rigged up with all the lures that I'd want to throw, so switched over to some pretty light tackle as well. So I think this is probably 20-pound fluoro. Luckily I had that snook hooked in the corner of the mouth. Okay, there's some rays swimming behind me, but it did fray me up a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and retie this leader just so I don't get broken off by the next fish. But that was a nice snook right there, a little bit smaller than the first one we caught, but hopefully we can land some bigger fish and maybe some more variety of fish. So let's get back to it. So the setup we're rocking right now, this is a 3000 Vanford on a 8 to 14 pound Mojo inshore, so a little bit lighter tackle. I don't love this rod for skipping. It's a little flimsy for skipping, but it's getting the job done. So I actually caught
my PB snook, a 41.5 incher on this Vanford. I had a different rod at the time.
All right, good start to the morning. Got 2 fish in the boat already. We've been out here for about probably like an hour, 15 hour and 30 minutes. And we're gonna go make a move. We're gonna head to a spot where I've actually seen some big black drum and big redfish, and I'm gonna hope to get on one of those suckers.
Hit right there. These smaller fish. I'm guessing it's a mangrove. Yeah, a little mangy. Off he goes. That's a different species, but not really what we're looking for. There we go. Don't know what we got. Looks like a little red. I think it's a small red. We're just kind of blind casting a little fluke up there into the mangroves. I'm kind of looking directly into the sun, so I can't really see that well. So we're gonna try to pull this guy out of the mangroves and see what we're dealing with. It is indeed a red. It's actually not as small as I thought. It's definitely not a big one, but he's not a baby. Let's get him up here in the boat. Kind of just popped right out. All right. It's a gorgeous little redfish right there. Not a huge fish, but a beautiful one nonetheless, and another species. So we got 2 snook and a redfish now. It's about 8 o'clock. Got a lot of daylight left to fish. Gonna get this guy back in the water and keep on throwing. Just pulled up to a new spot. This was like the first cast on the new spot, so hopefully the spot produces some nice fish. He's ready to go. All right, that's 3 fish on the day now. I've moved a couple spots now. The last spot was on the wind protected side, and it didn't really seem to be producing that much early in the morning. It also was on the west bank, so the bank that the sun is currently facing. And I think that these fish are probably holding up early in the morning more on this east bank. And so I'm gonna fish this east bank the rest of the morning and see if we can whack some more fish. And honestly, that redfish right there, I didn't even get a good hook set on him. So he kind of ate very lightly. It was a very gentle eat. Wasn't super aggressive. So honestly, didn't even know I had him at first. And that is a stuck lure. It's always depressing when you get snagged like this and you drive up to get it unhooked and you see like 4 fish swim out of the mangroves. This is the wind-blown bank, so sometimes skipping into a wind-blown bank is hard because you try to skip it on the water and it'll kind of jump like that. And so sometimes it's hard to skip into the mangroves when you're throwing into a wind-blown side, so you kind of just gotta go for it and hope you get lucky, which unfortunately I just didn't. All right, my Vanford broke off, so we're now rocking my 4000 Daiwa Salted Stem Q on a medium heavy. Got the same pink fluke on there, but we got 25-pound fluoro instead of, I think it might have been 15. The bite slowed down a lot. I haven't really seen a ton of fish, but just saw my first pretty good redfish in quite some time. So I think we might meet a better area where there might be some fish sitting. Just gonna toss this fluke kind of up into these mangroves. I'm gonna keep blind casting just because I still can't see super well, but definitely looking around now, try and sight cast some of these fish. I also forgot my cooler, which I usually stand on the front, which helps me see a lot. So that's a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. I've got this fluke actually rigged weighted now, and I kind of like that a little bit more for redfish because it sinks to the bottom when you let it sit still. There we go. Don't know what we got. I think it's a red. Not a bad red either. Decent red. Yeah, that's not a bad red at all. Get him out of those mangroves. She's really trying to pull me in those mangroves. All right, got him out of the mangroves. He is pulling so hard. Let's pull him this way. Oh, other around, other side of the boat. This is a solid red. This is actually a nice red. Just blind casting this fluke up towards just any kind of shaded shelter that these fish might be sitting under. It is a hot summer day. These fish are trying to get any shade they can. And so I'm just cruising up and down banks, just trying to find some nice structures, some nice areas where there's structure, where these fish might be hiding out. And the conditions aren't great for sight fishing right now. This is a nice red. This is a nice red. So I've been definitely doing some blind casting. I've been seeing fish, but not to the point where I feel comfortable sight casting. So, man, this is a gorgeous fish. This is a thick fish. Let's see if I can get him in the boat. Oh, he doesn't want to come in. This hook is just in the front corner of his mouth. He doesn't even look like he's hooked that good. Let's go. That is a nice redfish right there. Let's freaking go. I'm gonna get this hook out literally right in the corner of the mouth. Just barely hooked. It's in there pretty good though. That is a gorgeous 26-inch redfish right there. My camera zoomed in. That right there is a gorgeous 26-inch redfish. Blind casted at him with a, I'll show you guys later. I'm gonna get him back in the water. Just wanna show him off the camera. He's got two gorgeous spots on that side. This other side is also gorgeous as well. He's got like 4 spots on this side that are just awesome. I freaking love these fish. He's drumming away. I'm gonna get him back in the water, get a nice release. Then I'll show you guys what we were throwing. Oh, he was ready. He was ready to go. Let's freaking go. Man, this day's been awesome. Throwing artificials. I've come out actually a couple days throwing live shrimp, live mullet, and haven't done that well. And today we're throwing artificials, and today's been a great day. It's been an awesome day. The wind is gonna pick up pretty bad pretty soon, so I'm gonna have to get off the water pretty soon, but we're gonna throw this little stretch because we've been seeing fish, and hopefully we can get in some more. So I've kind of showed it off, but I'll show it off to the camera. It's just this little normal soft plastic fluke. I actually have it weighted, so I've got it weedless. I kind of just put it through the body like that so it stays weedless, but I like the weighted when I'm fishing in areas that have redfish. I don't know why, I just prefer it that way. I feel like redfish, their mouths are on the bottom, so just in my mind I'm just thinking, well, if the bait sinks more, then redfish are more likely to eat it. I don't know if it makes sense, but I like it that way. That's what I do. So yeah, worked out. Today's been a great day. We're gonna go see if we can whack some more fish. The wind really started to pick up, so I went ahead and got off the water. But that was a fun day. That was a sick day. Like I said, I fished quite frequently in this area with live shrimp, live bait, live mullet, and didn't have much success. But going out in the morning this morning, getting up nice and early and really just committing to the morning seemed to really pay off. So I think just in the summer heat, getting up in those early days and just, it also helps you as well. You're not out there in the dead heat of the day. So getting off the water at 10:45 right now. So it was an awesome day. Thank you if you made it this far. Appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Actually, you don't understand how much it helps the channel if you just simply like the videos. So you just click the like button, super simple. It actually helps tremendously pushing the videos to more and more people. So I appreciate you a ton. For those that like the video, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.